people wouldn't understand you, especially if you're thinking differently in another wavelength, siguro. Let's just say it was a battle full of happy realizations. My Buntag Cebu. My name is Deedee Villegas. People from Cebu call me Bayot Patikan, Bayot Laagan. Cebu is technically my home. This is where I belong. So, yeah, we're here. We're here at one of the most beautiful spots in Cebu, which makes me feel comfortable rather than going to the beach. So a lot of changes happened, no, dagan kay mga naitabo because of coronavirus, pandemic, and change is something that I grew up with. Growing up as a gay kid in Cebu City, it was hard. My generation's reach with social media was very limited. I started as a very shy kid. Bookworm, games, stuff like that. I wasn't really into body modifications, tattoos. So growing up in a very exclusive compound, one cousin, one brother. Then, puro na uncles and titas. So wala ko'y basis, wala ko'y basihan kung unsa ang normal kids outside the compound. So I was thinking that I was quite normal. I was pretty normal. I think about a lot of things, analyze things differently in a very artistic perspective, kung pas akong mom. So when I stepped outside the house, when I started going to school, that's when the bullying started. That's when I realized that the world outside my home was pretty crazy. It was a slap on the face. It was scary. Came college, that was the hardest part because I think at a certain age na to tanan mo agi tag face nga we lose our identity. We try to touch base with our center kung kinsa gyud ta. And that's when I discovered the beauty of tattoos, the beauty of Philippine culture, native indigenous culture around the world. When I went to college fine arts, I realized that I think moto siya ako ang, let's just say, outlet. So technically, tattoos served as a diversion. Yeah, when I was starting getting tattoos, nag-start pa ko, nobody took me seriously. Feeling nila kay fashion lang, trip lang. The tattoo community here in Cebu, or not just in Cebu, as a whole, it's not really dominated by male, but it's dominated by the fact that you have to be tough, rock and roll, strong, intimidating. That's the usual perception sa mga tao. So, mauto, when I started, it was also a new world. Artists were hesitant. Hindi may magkasinabot siguro because of how my ideas are when it comes to that. But I met artists that are very open. So I started getting tattooed one by one. May nagdinagko na siya. That's when the opportunities came. The tattoos became not just passion but also something that gave me identity and income. Like I have guestings, I have shoots, I have shows. And when I look at them, I go back. Why did I get these? Why these designs? Yeah, and I realized that every event in my life, high times or low times, sad times or good times, I get a tattoo. The designs themselves don't usually symbolize the event. Ang mga tao, usual example, magpatattoo og, let's say, compass for direction, birds for free or carefree feeling. But for me, when I get a tattoo, the design is indigenous or very dark. But when I get a tattoo, it marks a special event in my life. So, technically, I think my body is 70% covered and we're still working on it. But I started with a neck. I started with a neck up, then neck down there. It was out of identity crisis. The very first time I got it, it was trying to establish where I am. It was a design very pop, very modern, very this generation, let's say. And I grew out of it. Tattoos is more than that. Tattoos is not just an accessory, very rich stories behind them. So, gi-change na ko ang designs for tattoos into more tribal, more patterns. And yes, when I look at them, I get reminded of happy things, sad things. For example, sa akong arms, every time I leave or join a company, I get one to pinpoint that event in my life that I got a job. So technically, most likely sa arms, yung anak ko ang tattoo. But sa face is something that the people were shocked. My face tattoos were dedicated to the 4 consecutive deaths of my grandparents. More sila schedule, no? It was or it's correlated to a very cliche saying na face your fears. I fear things, I fear death. So how about I put them literally on my face? So yeah, that's the trigger. That's the trigger that I started getting my face tattooed. And people reacted differently. My family, of course, nakulbaan sila, nahadlok sila what I was thinking. Some people were amazed, but some of them are may naasa dyan mga nagun ako na nga na I'm just getting it for attention. I'm just thinking very differently, very crazy as they say. See, every day is an episode. Like every day is fun. Living with full body tattoo. A lot of people that you meet would stare. But I also realized, naka-learn ko nga, there are different types of stares. There's a stare out of curiosity, there's a stare out of disgust, there's a stare out of amazement. But then again, it became part of my life. Stares are something that connects you to people. But lately, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that Cebu became welcoming. Not just to me, but the tattoo community. I'm not being biased, but it's one of the best places to live in. And that's the reason why I always wanted to help out local artists, technically the whole local talents in Cebu City. Speaking of, these are very amazing artists who helped me out where I am at right now. I started with Joman Abad. Joman is a very, very respected artist here. He deserves it. I met Gerald Cabanasas. Gerald is one of the tribal masters. The patterns, geometric, black, solid black. So these are the 2 main artists who are working on my tattoos. But along the way, Cebu has given a lot of new artists. They are at a certain level that we can compete internationally. Few names: Randy Pegarido, we have Randy Villacorte, Maxel Olarte, Sean Dedrick, Gigi Texon. Of course, we have Mr. Ronnie Macapagal and Ruji Ang. Ruji Ang is, I think, the only, or the first, if not the first, who ventured into eyeball tattooing in Cebu City. The reason why I wanted to get the eyeball tattoo is I wanted to have a representative from the Visayas region. Luzon and Mindanao, technically, they have modified people like eyeball tattoos, split tongues. Cebu, we were working at it on our very own pace. I think it's time for us to have another mark on the spot. So yeah, I did it. I'm not promoting it. Even the artist does not promote it because it's very risky. It's a very risky procedure. I wouldn't wish for somebody to go through the things that I went through regarding the eyeball tattoos. The message that I wanted to give out when I was having it is Cebu can do it, LGBT people can do it, stereotypes within stereotypes. Kung nga rin mo sa Pinas good, kung bayot ka, bayot ra ka. Kung tatuan ka, tatuan ra ka. LGBT people, we are bullied for being ourselves. And tattooed people, we are also bullied for, or not really bullied, but they are given the stigma of being criminal. So having these 2 stigma together in one was crazy. It was really crazy because I'm experiencing 2 attacks at the same time. But that's what made it worthwhile. That's what made me strong because mga tao ingon sila nga luuya ka sa pamilya ani uy kay bayot na patikan pa gyud, but they just don't know that I have the best of both worlds. I have supportive heterosexual friends from tattoo community and I have my LGBT family, so I couldn't wish for more. The placement that I have in life in Cebu, with this type of family, with these group of friends, with all the blessings, I couldn't wish for more. I just couldn't wish for more. Everything is falling into place. one of the things ako yung treasure, which is commitment. Commitment is something that people are scared of, and tattoos are a realization of how committed you are because permanent naman ang tattoos. Very first kid akong advice, if you're getting one, is look at it and then imagine waking up with it every day. And once you can see yourself with that design, that is the design. But when it comes to technicalities, there are usual nga tips nga what not to get so that you can avoid having regrets. It's very risky to have your partner's name tattooed. There's an urban legend sa tattoo community nga if you get your partner's name tattooed, the relationship would get shaky. Of course, there's no logical explanation, but so far that's been the trend. So think about that. Designs that are not classic, in a few weeks or in a few years mawala na. Memes. Like I see a lot of people getting meme tattoos, which are very okay, especially if, once again, if you can imagine living it with every day. These are very risky designs that would give people regrets. And I've seen a lot of people having their meme tattoos removed. At the end of the day, it's your decision. Imagine us giving all the tips and advice, but if you want that, if you're 100% sure, go get that tattoo, go get that design. And where to put it, now that's a different thing because we have to consider factors, Mangod, like how would your family react? We're very religious, sometimes it clashes, so we have to consider that. Good for you if the family is okay, but I would always tell young kids that if their family is against it, they have to really think about it. You would get the tattoo, maybe not just for now. I've seen a lot of posts on social media about where to put the tattoos. And yeah, there is a pain guide. The bony parts are very painful actually. The parts that hurt the most are the parts where you tickle the most. Different strokes for different folks. Naiubang tao sakit rin nga part, naiubang tao sakit rin nga part. Kung gilkanan ka sa bagtak, so ara ginong masakit for them. If you want to avoid that, i-check kung asa gilkanon because that would be double the pain. As a face nga part, here naman ang sakit sa face so far because of the nerve endings as well. Forehead, not really painful. It was just marag makalipong lang siya because the machine is vibrating. But for me personally, the most painful part is the back part kana sa imong spinal cord. Don't just stop with getting advice from tattooed people. Do your research. There are sites that are very trustworthy. Don't forget to care about yourself. Get an artist that you're comfortable with. That's my last piece of advice. Because tattooing is not just at one-man show. It's a relationship between you, the artist, and the artwork itself. If di ka comfortable sa mong artist, if you don't trust your artist, and vice versa, the experience or the meaning of tattoo itself is lost. You have to enjoy the pain. You have to enjoy the experience itself. Because once that's done, once the artist, the design, the placement is all in place, I am sure go back ka sa kong giingon, you can live with that tattoo every single day of your life.
What's up, Kubal? Okay, mga Kubal, thank you so much for watching this episode of Kubal TV show featuring the one and only Deedee
Hi
Villegas.
guys, it was an amazing experience to be invited. It was my honor. Thank you so much. And yeah,
It was our honor na to have you, Deedee. Thank you nga. Tagaan minimum time bisan pag kung sa ka busy. I hope you had fun
Very.
sa atong adventure ganina.
super. We had fun, and there are kuana ka ng mga adventure, like it rained, but we're here at
Yeah.
Stellar
Brewing Cafe. Very nice.
our savior, savior from the rain.
Yes. Murag sakto jud kayo nga ning uwan niya nakakita ta ni nga place no.
Spot H Abeliana Street, Pintay. Ano
Pintay,
siya ang
yes.
location sa store, guys. And yeah, you should try their milk tea, their food.
So far the best milk tea yun nga akong natilaway. I know you're already popular, so you have social media
Yes.
accounts site, so you can invite our fellow mga Kubal
Kubals.
big subaybay.
Hard workers, hardworking citizens. Yes, guys. Still on TikTok, the Deedee Villegas, YouTube, Deedee Villegas. We're releasing our very first merchandise soon. So I hope you guys, keep on supporting. Yeah. I'm gonna let you in for updates to social media, for any events, for any bookings, for any, technically anything under the sun.
Yes, so I'm very excited about your upcoming merch. So kami sa Kubal TV will definitely get one of those.
True, and do a collab.
Oh yeah, we'll do a collab again. Wow.
For the product launch, something. Yeah, that's a surprise.
Yes, hopefully soon. Okay, and yes, that's it for now mga Kubal, and watch out for more episodes. We would like to invite you to follow Deedee with all his social media accounts. We will put that the link below. And thank you so much. Deedee.
Thank you again.
Bye,
Bye.
mga Kubal.